First of all, Scott, thanks for coming on Crown Countdown U. Second of all, my first question, I tap into a memory of mine. Former CIS head coach mentioned to me that being a head coach at that level is 30% X's and O's, and it's 70% BS, and he didn't use the initials. Well, I guess this is part of the BS that you have to deal with, some of the media stuff. How prepared are you to deal with all the administrative stuff and all of that 70% going into this year?
Yeah, a lot of it's going to be, there will be a learning curve, no doubt, Jim. I think that you're right in your assessment. I'm learning that early, that there is so much more to it than just actually coaching football. I've seen that for the last couple of years here, for the 2.5 years I've been back in Saskatoon. So that's part of it. You know, I've got some background on the administrative side of things with my time with the Player Association and stuff, so I get all that aspect of it. The meat and potato football side of it, that's generally the easy part for coaches, without a doubt. But it's a learning curve, and I'm a quick study.
So you're in a very special position. You have the opportunity to reach out to a Hall of Famer like Brian Tauris if there's a blind spot out there, if you need advice. Just how special is that?
Yeah, Brian, without a doubt, we've talked on several occasions, and he's said to me that he won't reach out to me, but he'll be an ear if I ever want one or need one, and that's a resource without a doubt. There's been numerous coaches over my career, as well as former teammates that are in the coaching profession now that I've already talked to and leading on it, just advice about, you know, from day-to-day stuff to big picture stuff. So, you know, I think that's part of the coaching community, the coaching fraternity, that people lean on each other and you know, collectively try to move this game forward in Canada, for sure.
So it was a long process leading up to your hiring. Where are you on the calendar right now in terms of dealing with the hiring of coaches, in terms of putting your program together? Just where are you? Are you a few weeks behind?
Yeah, I think that there's, without a doubt, just given the timing of everything, that we're playing a little bit of catch up. There's no doubt about it. I know our recruiting class is going to be smaller, and that's fine. You know, it's the hand we're dealt, and I'm okay with that. We're going to be setting the groundwork moving forward and trying to get the best players from wherever they may come from. High quality, high character people that are great athletes coming in here. You know, on the X's and O's side of things, we're going to have time. We're going to work into our camp in May, and then we're going to have time over the summer to really formulate and get the staff together and organize a detailed plan going into training camp and on. I've already got, you know, full season schedule and all that stuff laid out. So, you know, it's just fine tuning the details and moving forward with that. But, you know, hey, listen, I'm good with where we're at, but I definitely, you know, we're going to have some long nights here over the next few months.
So analyze the talent that you have coming back to the team for me, and how do you as a head coach go back and, as a new head coach, re-energize this group?
Yeah, I think that, you know, just on the talent side of things, across the board, as I told all the guys, everything's under the microscope, top to bottom. Everything, everyone, everything we do. We've had some morning sessions here. We've had indoor or off-season workouts. And the guys are starting to understand the tempo and the pace and what I'm looking for at practice. And that's going to be a learning curve. It's going to be a little bit of a process, without a doubt. But we're coming with high energy, high enthusiasm. We got guys that are flying around, and we just got to find great athletes. And we're going to put the best 12 guys on the field at any given time, whoever it may be. And I'm excited for it. You know, I don't get into predictions or where we're going to be or sit or anything like that. I want our guys and coaches and everybody to focus on today. Let's get better today, and that'll be our focus on a daily basis throughout the season.
One of your assistant coaches told me that he was very impressed with Mason Nyhouse, who redshirted last year at quarterback. Is there any potential for any sort of quarterback controversy between Nyhouse, who's a first-year guy, even though he's a redshirt, and Kyle Siemens, who comes in as a senior?
Mason Nyhouse is an outstanding talent. I have told him that many times. He will only develop further. But without a doubt, Kyle Siemens is our starting quarterback. He needs to know that. The team knows that. Everybody else, top to bottom, it's wide open. But from a quarterback perspective, Kyle Siemens is our starting quarterback, but Mason Nias has an incredibly bright future, and we're in good hands for the next 5 years.
Tyler Chow is a pretty special talent at running back at this level, but he always seems to be nicked, and there's not a lot of depth behind him. How do you create more depth, and how do you manage that sort of talent as you go through the season?
Yeah, so with Tyler, without a doubt, he's a special talent. He fits our system, and he's an outstanding zone runner. He gets it. He gets body position. He gets movement. He's explosive and he's powerful all in the same breath. But without a doubt, I think you're right, Jim, is that he hasn't finished the season since I've been here in Saskatoon. So we've got to get some depth behind him, and we've got some good guys there that can fill the role. Tyler's he's going to be our workhorse. We know that. We expect that, unless something else changes. But we're going to manage him throughout practice and throughout the season. We'll do our best to manage that whole situation to make sure he lasts 12 games, 13 games, however many it takes.
So over the last 3 years with you as offensive coordinator, your offense has shown flashes and has shown some performance, but consistency seems to be the issue. How do you develop more consistency now that you're the head coach?
Yeah, I think that my first year back, I was just learning the system that was already here, and then the last 2 years I've been morphing it more to the system that I want, and there's going to be more morphs. I don't know if that's the appropriate term, but more changes into that to really get the system that I want, and I think the guys are really starting to understand what's expected and the concepts and how we want to run the offense and how I want to see that stuff executed. So our execution level throughout this winter has been much better. Our understanding of it has been much better, and that some of that just comes with time because, as you all know, a lot of the athletes we get haven't been exposed to necessarily the systems that we run, and it just takes time for them to be able to have that understanding because they don't have the 10, 15 years of football background. So there's more of a learning curve, and there's just some patience that's required with that.
Obviously, there's going to be some changes on the defensive side of the ball. Where are you at right now in terms of picking a new defensive coordinator?
Yeah, that's a good question. I want to wait till we've got a big fundraiser breakfast in early May that I want to be able to have, and I'm on track and hope to have the whole staff named and be able to name all of them at that point. We've had some guest coaches out. We've had some guys out kind of working with the defense. Right now, it's simple. I just want guys that play fast, play with energy, and who can run with people. It's one-on-one battles, and then we'll formulate all that moving into our spring camp. And again, I'm on pace to have all that staff in place for that time.
So, Scott, what is your concept of defense? Where do you want to go on this? Are you a team that wants to be strong down the middle, strong positionally as units, or do you want athletes to fly all over the place?
I think that defense is an interconnected process. It has to be. I can sum up defense into three things: fast, physical, and aggressive. And that's what I want to see from our defense. We're going to do different things. We're going to attack each team as a separate identity, a separate entity, and we're going to. That's what I want to see out of our defense. I want our guys to play fast and just be aggressive. That's how I see the game. That's how I see the best defenses, and we need defenses to win championship without a doubt.
So athleticism across the board is really what you want?
Without a doubt. I just want athletes, the best athletes that are out there. You take a good athlete, Jim, you can find a home for him on the football field.
For the last few years, the recruiting footprint for the Saskatchewan Huskies has been Saskatchewan first, quite naturally. You have to control your own backyard. You've had a little outreach to Calgary. I think Jason Sells going over to Alberta has kind of closed off a door to a couple of schools in Edmonton. What's your approach going to be to recruiting? How aggressively are you going to go across the country?
Right. So first off, I don't see any doors being closed as far as recruiting goes. So, and without a doubt, Saskatchewan, there's produced a lot. I mean, I'm a Saskatchewan boy, so obviously I think there's been some talent come out here, and we got some amazing talented players locally that come out of this city and come out of this province without a doubt. there may be there's an argument to be made that there's talent everywhere. So my whole philosophy around the gym, honestly, is it doesn't matter to me where you're from. You could be from, Weyburn, Saskatchewan somehow has produced a couple NFLers. So, that's not your necessarily your typical people wouldn't assume as a football hotbed, but they've done it. So there's talent out there. You just got to find it and you got to develop it. And one of the things is building that network and building those relationships across the country, with starting in our own backyard, but across the country, and just understanding what we're about here at the U of S, that the facilities, the support, the institution is second to none, and that's the attitude that I have, and that's the attitude that our players are going to have, and we want the best people to come in here that are great athletes, and they're going to have a great time while they're here.
One of the important things to recruiting is forming a relationship. We heard Blake Nill talk about that on our radio show a couple of weeks back. He starts with players back in grade 10 and grade 9, even when they start showing some promise, to get that sort of interaction going. For your school, what sort of advantage does the University of Saskatchewan have? What is the Saskatchewan advantage when you're talking to a recruit?
I think it's the whole town, it's the whole city of Saskatoon is a huge advantage. The university is an integral part of that community, not only from the province and the city for sure. The umpteen number of programs that are recognized without a doubt across this nation from an academic standpoint, as well as you look at the attendance and the support we have from a football community. Just look at what's going on this week in Regina with the Football Week in Canada. Football in Saskatchewan's a big deal, and it's important to us here. And our guys that come here, that come from other places, they feel that, they know that, they understand the level of importance and how big a deal it is to us. And just how much we care about it. So there's numerous advantages to coming here. It's not going to be for everybody, I understand that, but there's a lot of kids out there that when they get here and they have the opportunity to come here, they don't want to leave.